Okay.
Hello, my name is Saad Yusuf. I'm with Plego Technologies. Welcome to our inaugural technology podcast. Today I have a very special guest with me. His name is Taimur Baig. He's an expert in the line of business intelligence and Power BI. So, Taimur, welcome.
Thank you.
I know there's a lot to talk about today in your field, but why don't you introduce yourself a little bit and provide us a little background on what you'd like to go over today?
All right. Thank you, Saad, for having me here. I've been in the business intelligence industry for over 20 years. I've had experience working with several industries across North America. I've also provided training at Microsoft Technology Centers and also at different clientele. So, that's my experience.
Well, you know what? I have you here today because I want you to kind of explain to us common users who work in business that have, very robust Power BI tools, the kind of issues companies can face, and why it's important for users to call people like yourself to hire Power BI experts and to assist them in dealing with certain issues and getting past them.
Sure. Well, today specifically, we'll talk about performance-related issues because that's where you see a lot of issues happening. Most of these issues can be addressed during the architecture phase. Commonly, we've seen the file size growth, mishandling of text attributes, and also the date dimensions. It's the common cause of performance issues in Power BI.
Great. So if you don't mind, can we fire your light up a little bit and you can kind of go over the most common issues for us and kind of show us what you're talking about?
Sure, no problem. Let's go.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to talk about this Contoso sample sales database. The dataset is connected to a SQL Server, which is a Contoso database provided by Microsoft. I've added some additional rows into it just to expand a little bit bigger. What we're going to do is we're going to go into a performance analyzer and we're going to turn on the performance analyzer. Also, we have a blank page intentionally just so that we can monitor the page load of our report. Once you click on the performance analyzer, click start recording and go into your report. So this way it will start recording how long does it take to create the first report. Now, if you notice, it's taking a good amount of time. We're going to expand on this matrix and copy the query into the clipboard. Now, where I just went is DAX Studio. It's an additional add-on that I downloaded. And here we're going to connect to our Power BI data model that's open. And once you click connect, you just right click and paste the query into the query. Now, always make it a habit, once you paste it, make it a habit to clear the cache at all times on this Power BI, on this DAX Studio. Can you pause it? All right, so after pasting the query in, we're gonna click on the execute button. And like I said, we're gonna clear the cache first and run. And then you will also need to do is click on the server timings, and you will notice that at the bottom, a server timings got added. And I'll click on that again, and you will see the all the different SE query, FE query, and SE queries in it now. Once we start executing, you will notice that it's taking a good amount of time to load the query. Once the query gets loaded, you will notice that in our particular case, we have 12,097 SE queries, and we'll talk about what is SE queries later. And it did take a good amount of time to load. Now, how do we debug the issue is a different scenario, but let's identify where the problem is. If you look at inside of these queries, you will notice a lot of select discount from geography, region, country name, and it's repeating over and over and over again. And that gives me a hint that my measure region, country, name is where it might be a problem. So we're going to just take those two lines and we're going to comment them out, and sales amount and the country, region, name, we're going to comment them out, and we're going to execute the query again. Now you'll notice that SE queries only went down to only one. That means a single measure took only a few nanoseconds for it to execute a query. So we just found the problematic area, and we'll later on discuss on how to resolve this issue. All right, so second problem we're going to address is the date. Now, if you notice, I just downloaded and installed a Vertipack Analyzer, which is a very nice performance tool, and it comes up in an Excel. So we have, number one, we have the sales fact table that you're looking at. And then also, if you notice, we have multiple local date tables. So if you notice, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 local date tables. Now, how did these date tables come across? They came across because we have the date intelligence inside of Power BI enabled. Also, if you notice row number 29, we also have our sales key, which is generating a big amount of space. So we're gonna eliminate these two issues. So first of all, we're gonna go open up our Power BI file, and as you open Power BI, there's gonna be an options and settings. So click on File and Options and Settings and go into Options. Once you go into the options, you will have two places where you can remove the automatic date intelligence. So first, you can remove it from the global settings, and then and at the bottom you see the time intelligence, which is auto date time, and it's on. And then also, if you go into the current file and click on the data load, you're going to see the time intelligence turned on here as well. So we'll just turn it off for right now from the local file, turn off and click OK. And now let's close our Power BI file and reopen it. So first thing you are going to notice is the file size, and also you will notice that the hierarchy at every date is eliminated. All right, so this will resolve our date dimension issue. So it's recommended not to have the hierarchies enabled for all the dates that you have. Instead, create a hierarchy from your time intelligence yourself, and then utilize that in different places where you want to use the date hierarchy. After getting rid of the date dimension intelligence, what we're going to do is now is identify what columns are in our Power BI file that are taking up space and we don't need them. So looking at this Power BI file, we identified we actually need the sales key column to create relationships, but we do not need the sales amount column in row number 28, looking at the VertiPack Analyzer. So let's go into the Power BI file, look at the data model itself. If you notice, all of the keys are hidden from the users. Users don't need to see it. And then the sales amount column is not utilized anywhere. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this sales amount column and get rid of it. So right click or click on the ellipsis by the sales amount column and click on delete from model. Click yes. And now the Power BI will refresh itself and one of the columns is gone. Now, just to remind you, the sales amount column contributed to about 9.3935864 megabytes of actual utilization, space utilization. So you are eliminating a good amount of space from your Power BI file, and it will help with the load timings. And we are gonna refresh our VertiPack Analyzer all together at the same time, and this will be it. After eliminating our date and eliminating our sales amount column, now let's address the sales key. Although we talked about how we're going to need sales key to join to different columns, in this particular case, the sales is not joined to any table using the sales key. That sales key is pretty hefty and it comes to size. So what we are going to do is we're going to eliminate the use of sales key in row number 29. So now there's multiple approaches of doing that, but I'm going to take you back into the query editor which will take you back to the Power Query editor. We are going to select sales, and you'll notice at the very top you have choose columns options. Click on choose columns, and for that query you'll see all of the columns that are brought in for that table. We are going to unselect the sales key and just make sure that all of the keys, all the other columns that you have in here are the ones that we want to utilize. Once you make sure that all of them are the ones that you need, click OK, and we'll just click on close and apply. Once we hit close and apply, Power BI is going to start refreshing by itself, and then you will notice the number of records that it's bringing in is ginormous, because sales is our last or the biggest fact table. Now, talking about tables, make sure that the data model itself is clean.
Thank you, Taimur, for that awesome demonstration. Just I want to kind of summarize now. I know there's a lot of information to take in for everyone. What should we all take away from that?
Great. So Saad, three things that we take away from this is, number one, the file size matters. So to eliminate the file size, you have to eliminate any of the unused columns, any unused tables, and make sure your data model is clean. Number two, the time intelligence, which is automatically provided by Power BI, the date dimension needs to be cleaned up, and the hierarchy needs to be built manually instead of using the one that's provided automatically. And last but not least is your attributes. The less text attributes you're going to have, the less amount of memory you're going to utilize, and that will equate to a faster Power BI file.
That's great, Taimur. Thank you for that. And those of you that don't know, Taimur is a valuable member of our team. He leads up our Power BI Business Intelligence Division. And if you want any of these services or anything else that Plego Technologies does, head over to Plego.com, hit the Contact Us button, and give us a call, because we're happy to help. We're happy to assist. We want to get you back on track and make sure your business intelligence program is up to par. Thank you. Thank you, Taimur.
All right.